All right, folks, welcome to another Spook Show on the Ether Stream. My name is Genova. Hopefully, everybody's doing good. Let me know if my volume is okay. I'm still working on the audio. Think I got it figured out. Um, yeah, it's Tuesday. Nothing going on tonight, so I figured we'd do a Spook Show like we've been doing. It is the time of the season, October. Or if you're one of those people, October's a lifestyle, man. Halloween's a lifestyle, dude. As always, I asked everybody to send me their creepy, spooky, Halloweeny, scary, whatever videos. I put them all in a playlist. We will get to what we can get to. If we don't, I will save them, and we will use them next time we do one of these. As always, I don't know when another Ether stream will happen. There's really no set schedule right now. But let's go over here. Sorry, bear with me for a second. All right, let's kick it off here. If you guys have noticed, that annoying little cookie bar, that's gone. Donnie, I have seen a Serbian film.
Something to be dreaded by celebrities and non-celebrities alike. Obsessive loners, they won't take no for an answer, and they will come up with ingenious ways of making
like I promised I would do. I figured out how to get rid of that fucking annoying little cookie bar. So your boy's moving up. Soon I'll be making my own OBS. I almost said making my own BS. Excuse me. I've been drinking.
Celebrities are loved by a great many people, but sometimes that love turns into a dangerous obsession.
It's too spooky for you, weeb.
To disaster. Teresa Saldana was a popular actress in the 1980s. She played a number of different roles, but one in particular led to unexpected results. Her role in the 1980 film Defiance captured the attention of Arthur Richard Jackson, a drifter from Scotland. Jackson became infatuated with Saldana and decided it was time he took a trip to the United States. Jackson proved that he would go to great lengths to find his target. He hired a private investigator to find Saldana's mother's unlisted phone number. He called Teresa's mother, posing as an assistant for director Martin Scorsese. He said he needed
Donnie,
Teresa's
I've been
address
drinking
to
on
contact
free
her
beer that I
regarding
got
an
from my
upcoming
neighbor.
role. Her mother gave him the address.
He gave me
and
something
Jackson
called
was on his
Presidente.
way. Jackson suffered from a very powerful delusion.
Some
He believed it was his destiny
I don't know.
to meet with Teresa
It's a
Saldana
5%er.
and kill
I know
her.
that's not
Once
a
he was
lot.
captured and
I'm not
executed
really a
for
big
her
drinker,
murder, they would
and I've
both
already
come to
started my
reunite
third
in the
beer,
afterlife,
so
where they would spend
and I'm a fucking
eternity
lightweight.
together.
So
Jackson
I'm probably
broke into
gonna.
Saldana's address and
So things
waited
might get a
outside.
little crazy
She eventually
tonight.
emerged from the house, and he launched his attack. Arthur
Attack
Richard
launched.
Jackson
He
lunged at
attacked.
Teresa
He
Saldana with
attacked.
a large hunting knife and in broad daylight began
But
stabbing
most importantly,
her repeatedly.
he
stabbed
attacked.
her 10 times in her torso, and despite many onlookers, a delivery man on the
The
second
drunk
floor
wop
of a
alert.
nearby apartment building heard her
Yeah,
cries
Goshen,
and rushed to her
Presidente.
aid. He subdued
is
Jackson,
from
and Teresa was treated at the hospital.
the
After
Dominican
a 4-hour
Republic.
surgery and 4 months in the
Okay,
hospital,
Presidente.
she was released. She had survived her
Autentico
brutal encounter.
Dominicano.
It was revealed that Jackson had stabbed Teresa so hard that he had bent the blade of the knife. Teresa went on to play herself in a role reenacting the experience she had endured,
I'm most
while
definitely a
Jackson
lightweight,
earned a trip
Donnie.
to a mental hospital
Gray, you
where
drinking
he
too? All
eventually
right, cheers,
died
guys.
of heart failure.
Everybody who's drinking. Also, as usual, my OBS is
Jackson's
fluctuating
tactics of
from
hiring
green
a
to
private
yellow to red, back
investigator
up to
went on
green,
to
so-
inspire a new stalker, Robert John Bardo. Rebecca Schaefer was another actress that would come
Look at that
from no
hair.
tragedy. At 21 years old, her acting career was starting to take off. She had played in a 1980s sitcom called My Sister Sam and was starting to expand her horizons. She had many admirers, and one of them was 19-year-old Robert John Bardo, who obsessively
Look at that
worshipped
fucking
Schaefer
dude. Look at that
and
chin.
even had a shrine dedicated to her in his home. Bardo had made many attempts to visit Schaefer on the set of My Sister Sam, but he was
drinking,
always
Gene?
turned
Weeb?
away.
What are you gonna,
So he
weeb?
often wrote her letters instead, but something
Beer or whiskey?
suddenly changed Bardo's
Weeb, if I had
perspective
whiskey,
when Schaefer
I'd
took
be
a role
drinking that
with
shit.
a male actor and played out a scene where she
I
was
love
in
me a
bed
good
with
whiskey.
him. Bardo was enraged.
I shouldn't
He
say I
believed
love me a
Schaefer had
good
become
whiskey.
just another Hollywood
I just like
whore,
whiskey.
and
I
decided
also
that
like
she
tequila.
would have to be punished for her misdeeds. With the aid of a private investigator, Bardo obtained Schaefer's home address and set forth for Los Angeles. Bardo felt betrayed. His delusion was shattered, and he felt he had to remedy the issue as soon as possible. On July 18, 1989, Robert John
This
Bardo
issue needs
approached
to be
Rebecca
remedied.
Schaefer's apartment and
How
rang
dare
the bell.
she cheat on
She
me.
opened the door and he showed her an autograph that she had sent him through the mail some time ago.
Host
After a
chooses
short
whiskey.
and
You gotta go ahead.
awkward
We have some.
conversation, she
Drink
asked
one
Bardo
from
to
me.
leave and not return to her home. Bardo left as requested.
Your vision's going
but
from
he had
green to
no
red to yellow
intention
to
of
gray.
staying away. Bardo went and casually had breakfast at a nearby diner before heading
Cerveza,
back to
Jenny?
Schaefer's home, but this time he had a brown paper bag with him. Once again, he rang her bell
Are you
and she
drinking,
again
Gene?
approached the door, answering with what Bardo described as a cold look on her face. He wasted little time before withdrawing
Also,
a
guys,
handgun from the bag.
Over on
and
this
shooting
channel, I
Schaefer
don't
in
have
the
any
chest.
wrenches,
He
but if
fled,
you start to
and she
get
was
like
pronounced dead
censored by
shortly after reaching
YouTube
the
or something like
hospital.
that, you let
Bardo
me know.
was eventually
I'll start
captured. He was
passing out
found
wrenches.
aimlessly running through traffic. He promptly confessed to the murder and told police that Rebecca Schaefer's last word was why.
Why? Thought Patrol.
Laurie Show was 16 years old and not a celebrity at all. Unfortunately, she was mixed up in a love
Excuse me.
triangle between a boy
That came out of
and
nowhere.
a jealous ex-lover. Show was open to the idea of a relationship, and in 1991
I dare you to Gibbs me
began
a
to date
Donnie, if I
Lawrence
gives you
Youngkin.
a wrench,
Youngkin's
I gotta gives a
ex-girlfriend,
wrench
Lisa
to
Michelle
everybody.
Lambert was infuriated by this. She still had
'Cause
feelings
the
for
minute
him.
one
The
person starts
relationship
getting
between
censored,
Show and Youngkin
this is gonna
didn't
happen for
work out,
everybody,
as
so I'm
Show
just gonna
claimed
start
he had
handing out
date
fucking
raped her.
wrenches.
Youngkin went back to Lambert, who had turned out to be pregnant with his child. Lisa Lambert and Lawrence Youngkin were once again reunited. True love lasts forever. While Laurie simply wanted to just move on from the entire thing, Lisa wanted to be sure that Laurie would forever regret ever
I'm pretty
dating
sure
her
over on
boyfriend.
Heretic, everybody's
Lisa would
got a
often show up
wrench.
at Laurie's job to taunt and verbally assault her. Right in public, she would insult Laurie and express her distaste for her. Witnesses even claimed that they heard
Cuck
Lisa
censored
express
you?
that
All
she
right, here
wanted
we
to
go.
scare Laurie before hurting her and slitting her throat. Lisa was set on making her desires become a reality. On December 21st, 1991, Hazel Show, Laurie's mother, received a phone call from Laurie's guidance counselor, who asked Hazel to come down to the school for a short meeting to talk about Laurie. Hazel obliged and left.
Zach, you can have
unaware
all the
that
ether
call
you want,
didn't
buddy.
come from the school at all, but was made by Lisa. Lisa simply wanted to get Laurie's mother out of the house, and she had succeeded. She took a friend and had Lawrence Youngkin drop them off at Laurie's house. Lisa forced her way into Laurie's house and attacked her brutally. She stabbed Laurie repeatedly as she lied helpless on the floor before slitting her throat.
There
Just
should
as
be
she had
wrenches. I
claimed
may
she
have missed
always
somebody,
wanted
but
to do. Laurie's mother
me
came home
alone.
a short time after and found her daughter lying in a pool of her own blood, still clinging on to life. As she held her daughter, she claimed that Laurie was able to say a few words, where she revealed
don't
to her
delete
mother
that, Weeb. You
Lisa
said fuck
was
toy.
the one who did it. Laurie died shortly thereafter on the floor of her home. Lisa and her
well.
friend were both sentenced to
YouTube
life in
are
prison
cucks,
without
that's why
parole,
they're fucking-
where they continue to remain.
that's why they censor those words. Isn't it very, it's, what is that quote? When you
Many
cut
students
out
have
the
had a
tongue
teacher
of
that they
the man,
find
you only
attractive.
prove that you
But
fear
for
what
one
he has to
certain
say.
algebra
Some
teacher,
shit
this
like that.
harmless attraction
That's what they're doing. They're
turned
cutting
into
your tongue
obsessive
out because they fear
infatuation.
what you have to
Ming
say.
Sen Shiyu was a psychopath. At an early age, his mother described him as violent and uncaring. He lacked empathy or remorse, and throughout his life engaged in criminal activity. While attending high school, Shiyu came to develop a crush on his 9th grade algebra teacher, Mary Stouffer. He sexually fantasized about
I miss
her,
Jenny.
often writing stories where she would be raped. But these kind of activities can't hold
Yeah,
a predator
thoroughly
at bay
wrenched Jenny.
forever. A lot of time had passed. It had been 15 years since he sat in Mary Stouffer's classroom. and he had eventually come to discover his old
Cox
teacher's
is not
whereabouts.
censored,
He
but the
stalked
word
Stouffer until
cuck
May
is.
of 1980,
What the
where he
fuck?
found her at a salon. She walked out with her 8-year-old daughter Elizabeth, and at gunpoint, he abducted them both. They were quickly tied up and thrown into the trunk of his car, and he promptly headed home. Along the way, however, Mary and her daughter were making a lot of noise. At one point, he had to pull over to keep them quiet. As he was
Weeb
doing
can
this,
say
he was
cuck.
approached
Why
by a
can't Weeb
young
say
boy
cuck,
who had
but
heard the
Gray
commotion
can?
and wanted to see what was going on. Shiyu promptly tossed the boy in the trunk as well. He stopped again along the way to pull the boy out and beat him to death.
Cuck. Oh,
with a
there you
metal
go.
rod. At his
There you
house,
go,
the
Weeb
daughter
Snake.
Elizabeth was often locked away in a box, while Mary would
Gray.
spend most of
I
her
should call
time
you. I should
locked
call you
in
Gray
his
since
closet,
it'll
unless
get
he was going to
confusing
take
since
her out,
everybody
tie
already
her to the
knows
furniture,
my buddy
and
Snake.
rape her repeatedly. One day, while Shiyu had been at work, Mary managed to escape the confines of her closet and called the police using Shiyu's phone. Police arrived and rescued her and her daughter almost 2 months after they had been abducted. Having been immediately arrested, Shiyu stood trial and had managed to sneak a knife into the courtroom.
Oh,
While
shit.
Mary was testifying, Shiyu unexpectedly lunged at Mary and sliced the side of her face open with the knife. It took 62
Wanna know how I got these scars?
to close the wound. Shiyu was up for parole in 2010 and for whatever reason was deemed a threat to society even
Shrimp.
now. So it's been decided that he will spend the rest of his life in prison.
Shrimp, you got that wrench now, son. Shrimp, you've been playing them Batman Arkham games? How are those? I've played
Your
Arkham
job
Asylum.
is a very good place to
It's
meet
pretty
new
damn
people.
good.
Even a potential love interest could happen there. But a job is a place that you're required to be at. So it's the perfect place for a stalker. Laura Black was 22 years old when she went to work for ESL Incorporated, a technology firm at the time. There she met Richard Farley. The fact that she was 12 years younger than him did nothing to hold him back. He immediately fell in love with Laura. He often gave her gifts and wrote her letters where he would ask her to be his girlfriend. She always politely declined,
Be my
but he
girlfriend,
wouldn't take no
please.
for an answer. Over the course of 4 years, Richard would continue to pressure Laura.
Take a
Even if
fucking
she
hint,
changed
dude.
residences, he would find out where she lived and continue to harass her. Eventually, Laura contacted Human Services of their company, who required Richard to take part in counseling sessions. The sessions didn't help, and Richard continued
course they
to
didn't
press
fucking
Laura
help.
until he was eventually terminated by the company. Overall, he had written Laura over 200 letters. He had been working at ESL Incorporated for 9 years, and now he turned to stalking Laura full time. Laura filed for a temporary restraining order, and she was granted it, and a court date was set to determine whether the temporary restraining order should become permanent. 1 day before the court date, Richard drove his motorhome to the ESL parking lot with
Donnie,
numerous
I
firearms
personally
and
did
over
not like the
1,000
new
rounds
Joker
of
movie.
ammunition. He
That's
fired
me.
on innocent
You're allowed to like what
bystanders
you like,
and
that's
killed
cool.
as many people
You're
as
allowed
he
to
could
not
find
like what you
that
don't
he
like,
came
that's
across.
cool. That's
He
the
killed
rule over
7
on
people
Heretic
and
Channel.
injured 4 others on his rampage.
Personally, for
When he
me,
came
the
to
best
Laura's
Joker
office,
is
he attempted
still
to slam the door in his face. He shot through the
that
door
dead
twice.
guy's name.
The
What's
first
his
bullet
name?
missed her,
Heath
while
Ledger?
the second struck her in the shoulder.
Heath.
She fell unconscious, and Richard moved on. He failed to kill the one person who he had come to kill before anyone else. Farley held down police SWAT for 5 hours after his rampage. During this time, Laura had awoken, stopped her bleeding, and with some other co-workers managed to escape. He surrendered after requesting a sandwich and soft drink from Togo's. Chances are surprisingly good that you may
360
encounter
no scope,
a
Goshen.
stalking situation of your own. According to the National
He needs
Violence
to realize
Against
it was
Women
just an
survey,
emotional
1
connection.
in 12 women and 1 in 45 men will experience a stalker in their lifetime. If
Yeah,
you feel
Gene,
you
he had
may
to
be
change
dealing
to
with a stalker,
his,
I've linked some resources in the description below of
his
how to
mother's
deal with the
maiden
situation.
name, I think,
So I
maybe.
urge you, if you believe you're
He's
in this
Rob
type of
Gavigan
situation,
now,
to check them
'cause he
out.
can't be
Also,
Rob
if you've
Dyke.
ever been stalked in your life and you've gotten past it, why don't you share your experience in the comments below? You never know, you might be able to help somebody. That's all for now. Remember, you may not believe it, but anything is possible in a world so seriously
Genova
strange.
loves... Oh, Porky.
I'm Rob Dyke,
Porky
and I'll
doesn't
see
have a
you
wrench.
next Wednesday.
Porky, here's
Please
your wrench.
show Jupus, the artist of this series, some support by subscribing to her YouTube channel. Linked
Porky,
in the
I got rid of that
description
cookie
below.
bar.
Also, don't forget to click subscribe on screen now to subscribe to my channel, because you won't want to miss what's next.
Never let him forget Cindy. You and Porky teaming up. So this is like the second time now y'all teaming up against me. How dare you two? This is a pretty cool beat. Oh, here's our boy Nuke. Number 15.
Top 5 Unsolved Mysteries. Mysterious
Number
Visitor.
1, Zach
Before we get to all the
Lomby.
murder and mayhem in this list, here's an unsolved mystery that simply fits into the extremely creepy category. So for several nights in a row, a Reddit user gets repeated alerts
fucking
from his
things
door
are
motion
usually
sensor
always
that
fake,
movement has been
unless
detected.
you get like the real encounter.
However, every time he
ones.
checks the notification images, there's nothing there. So he just assumes
Porky was
it's a
gonna eat
neighborhood
that bar.
pet setting off the detector, or perhaps a malfunction. Finally, after the third night, the man checks his alert and finds this disturbing picture from his front door. A strange late-night visitor who appears to be wearing an odd mask. Even creepier, notice the times on the alerts. They occur around midnight, then again a full 4 to 5 hours later, around 4 a.m. So, who was this person, and why was he hanging around outside the man's home all night long, seemingly in a mask?
You probably live
The
in
Reddit
like
user
an
reports
ex-drug
that after
dealer's
this
house,
picture,
and that
the
dude's looking at his
mysterious
fucking
visitor never
score.
returned again. The Head in the Woods. In Economy, Pennsylvania,
Third
a
beer
teenager
down,
is
boys.
strolling through the woods when he makes a grisly discovery: the dismembered head of an old woman. But that's not where the weirdness stops.
Wait, he found
because
a
when police
severed
investigate, they
head
find
of
that
an
the head
old
has been
woman?
fully embalmed by someone. Not only that, but
Embalmed?
the eyes have been removed and replaced by rubber balls.
Oh,
Police
shit.
artists compose sketches and even circulate pictures of a 3D sculpture of the woman's head. But no leads are ever found to the woman's
Moving on to
identity
our
or
fourth
where the head came
Presidente.
from. 1 year later,
Hey,
the
free beer
investigation is
is
stopped
best
due to
beer.
lack of evidence. Pennsylvania
My neighbor
authorities
is
buried
fucking
the head
awesome.
in an
He also
unmarked
gave me
grave in the local
homemade
cemetery.
tomato
To
sauce
this day,
and
no
a
one knows
homemade
who the
apple
woman
pie.
is or what happened to her body.
I got like a free 12 pack.
BC Beach
I got a
Street.
free jar of
On
homemade
February
tomato sauce
9,
and a
2016,
free
a family
apple
was
pie.
walking along Botanical Beach in British
Can't beat
Columbia,
it.
Canada. They find a shoe washed up on the shore. Nothing strange about that, except that the shoe still has a severed human foot
Oh, I've heard about
inside.
these shoe things.
But
There's
it
more
gets
than
even
one that's
stranger than
washed
that,
up, I believe,
because
too.
this is the 13th
Oh,
human
there it
foot
is.
to wash up on the beach of British Columbia in the past 10 years. Theories about the origin of the feet run from murdered bodies dumped into the ocean to suicides and deaths at sea. But no one is quite sure on the exact explanation or why the British Columbia beach in particular seems to attract these grisly discoveries. Morgellons disease. Morgellons disease is a very rare and controversial illness. Sufferers report the strange sensation of what feels like bugs crawling under their skin. Other symptoms include chronic fatigue, skin
Nigga, that's-
sores, and oddest of all, threads or fibers that actually appear underneath the skin. In 2012, the U.S. Center for Disease Control said that they believed that Morgellons wasn't
Truly
an
Italian
actual physical
American.
disease at all. It was simply a
Cindy.
mental illness. They suggested that the fibers were likely lint that had gotten into exposed wounds. However,
Sauce and
tens of
apple pie.
thousands of Morgellons disease sufferers, including singer Joni Mitchell, insist that the disease is very real. On websites and help
The
forums,
sex toy
sufferers
oppression
post
is
very
fucked.
compelling photos
What a
of the
man
strange
does with his
fibers that they say
with
appear
his head,
under their
his
skin.
business. You damn right,
Lab
Zach.
analysis of some of the Morgellon fibers defy all description.
Whatever
If I
the
wanna
cause,
keep
there
some
is
severed
something
heads
strange about
and
the fibers.
defile 'em,
Forensic
it's none of your
scientist
business.
Ron Pogue
You
at
buried
the
the
Tulsa
corpse.
Police
You don't
Crime
need it
Lab
anymore.
checked a Morgellon sample against the 100,000 known fibers in the FBI's
Guys, the
national
moon has
database.
risen.
No
I can
match
see
at
it.
all. So this is some strange stuff.
Not cotton, not linen, not any known natural or synthetic fiber.
But despite reported cases of the illness dating back at least 16 years, Morgellons disease has never been officially recognized or classified as either a physical or mental illness. 4,000-mile death punch. On July 5th, 1996, in Surrey, British Columbia, Canada, a 31-year-old man named Blair Adams suddenly leaves his job, removes all of his cash from his bank accounts, and begins one of the strangest escape attempts of all time. I say escape attempt because Blair Adams had repeatedly claimed to friends that someone was trying to kill him and that he had to get out of town immediately.
Guys, I gotta get out of town.
First, Blair Adams tries to cross the border into the U.S.,
trying to kill me.
but he's turned away by suspicious border guards. Next, he buys a one-way ticket to Frankfurt, Germany,
I don't want to mention who it
leaving
is,
the next day.
but it rhymes
Apparently,
with
Adams
Gene
is too
Skinner.
afraid to wait for his flight to Germany, so instead he once again tries to cross the U.S. border. This time, he succeeds. Adams then drives nearly 500 miles to Seattle, where he purchases another plane ticket and flies across the U.S. to Washington, D.C. From Washington, he then drives another 500 miles to Knoxville, Tennessee. In total, Blair Adams has now traveled nearly 4,000 miles from his home in Canada.
4,000.
In Knoxville, Adams checks into a hotel room.
Not allowed in
Now,
this
so
country,
far, this
Canadian.
just sounds like the crazed trip of a delusional man. But this is where things get really strange. At 7:37 p.m., Adams leaves his hotel room. The next day, Blair Adams is found dead in a parking lot a half a mile from his hotel room.
Welcome to America,
He's been violently
Canuck.
stripped from the waist down. Oddly, the thousands of dollars in cash that he was carrying is not missing, but instead is scattered all around his dead body. Weirdest of all, Blair Adams' cause of death is determined to be one single massive blow to the stomach. Pathologists say he received a single punch, kick, or unknown impact to his midsection that was so powerful that it actually ruptured his stomach. The strange case of Blair Adams is still unsolved.
You mean he got jumped by a pack of fucking jigs? That's what fucking happened. Alright. Let's move on to this. Cindy, I think you sent me this one.
The following video contains subject matter that may be disturbing to some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
He was actually
Take a
supposed to
look
go
at this
to Nashville.
photograph. Do you notice anything strange about it? What if I told you that 2 weeks after it was taken, this man, Charlie Lawson, murdered his wife and 6 of his kids? The murder of the Lawson family
asshole.
is one of the more enigmatic
Dude, how you
cases
gonna
I've ever
fucking
come
murder your
across.
kids?
Not
I can
only
understand
because
your
of the
wife,
mysterious
but
circumstances
how you
that
gonna
will
murder
lead a
your
father
fucking
to murder his
babies?
entire family on Christmas Day, but also because of the public's bizarre reaction to it. So this is the story of the Lawson family, and how their tragedy became a tourist attraction.
That's right, Shrimp. The jerk store called and they're all out of you.
The Lawsons were tobacco farmers who lived in Germantown, North Carolina. Charlie Lawson had married
Should have had
Fannie
a snicker.
Manley
You
in
think he was hungry,
1911,
weeb?
and she had bore him 8 children. One of the kids, 6-year-old William, died of an illness in 1920. This wasn't uncommon at the time, as the odds of a child surviving past the age of 5 was only 67%, compared to around 96% today. 2 weeks before Christmas in 1929,
Thank you, vaccines.
Charlie took his family out shopping. They got new clothes and visited a photographer's studio where they took a family portrait.
Dude, they have portrait already.
They don't look too happy
look at
to
that
be
dude's
there,
eyes.
but it's hard to say if it's
All
because
white.
they were unhappy or because they weren't
That's
used to having
already
their
fucking
picture taken.
scary.
Portrait photography would have been a rare luxury for a rural family in North Carolina. On Christmas Day, the family was gathered together and Fanny baked a Christmas cake. Their 16-year-old
that
son
nigga's
Arthur
ears.
was the only member who was not in the
Look
house
at him!
because he had gone into town to buy shotgun shells in order to go hunting
Sticking
for rabbits.
straight out and shit.
While Arthur was out, Charlie began his killing spree. He started with his daughters, Carrie and Maybelle. They were outside when he shot and
If a
bludgeoned
bitch
them
keeps
to
lying
death.
to him.
He then shot his wife while she was on the porch. He then went into the house where he shot his 2 young sons and his teenage daughter, Marie. Finally,
Oh
he
shit,
bludgeoned
is this
the baby
like some
and placed her in the
Amityville
crib.
shit?
After he killed them, he arranged their bodies so that their hands were crossed over their chest and put rocks under their heads to act as pillows. He then went into the forest, and several hours later, he shot himself.
You know what? Why don't you just start with shooting yourself first? Footprints were encircling.
The murders became the talk of the town, so much so that Charlie's brother Marion turned the crime scene into a kind of macabre attraction. He charged people 25 cents to tour the house, and people showed up in droves to look at the bloodstains and at Fanny's cake,
25
which had been
cents?
left untouched by
That's
the
like
family.
$100 today.
The cake had raisins on it, and some people took it upon themselves to steal raisins to keep as mementos, so the people running the tours were forced to encase the cake in glass, where it remained for several years.
You out here stealing raisins as mementos.
The crime even inspired a very popular murder ballad that is still sung to this day.
Oh, Gene, there's your vinyl. People are strange, Cindy, when you're a stranger, as the song goes.
The question on everyone's mind through all this is why Charlie killed his family in the first place. One theory is that Charlie had become deranged due to a head injury he had incurred a couple of months earlier, when he hit himself in the head with a mattock while digging a ditch on the farm. Charlie's brain was removed and analyzed at Johns Hopkins Hospital, but no abnormalities were found. Still, I think it's very likely that the injury could have caused a drastic change in his personality. Head injuries leading to violent behavior aren't exactly rare.
Did you guys see
Another
that?
popular theory,
Did you
which
guys
was
see
first
that dude
chronicled
who
in the book
fucking
White
shot
Christmas, Bloody
himself through the
Christmas,
face with the
alleges that
harpoon
Charlie had
gun?
been having an incestuous
couple
affair
days
with his
ago.
daughter Marie that had
He
resulted
was
in her
underwater
pregnancy.
and his
Family
hand
members and a close friend of
was
Marie
smashed
corroborated
against
this
a
claim
reef
and
by a
said that Fanny
wave,
even
and
knew about
it
the
set the
pregnancy.
harpoon gun off, and it went straight through the side of his
When
face.
Charlie was found dead in the woods,
Dumb
he had two
motherfucker.
unfinished notes in his pocket. The first one read, "Troubles can cause," and the other one read, "No one to blame, but..." It's possible that Charlie's shame over having impregnated his daughter led him to the murders. You may think that it's an extreme reaction, but I think Charlie's head injury also played a part. The fact that he took the time to take the family for a portrait shortly before he killed them and then arranged their bodies after their deaths shows that there was more going on than just a man who killed his family
Some
on a
fucking guy
random
from
violent
Norway with
impulse.
the harpoon gun. I
There's
think it
also
was
the matter
Norway.
of why Arthur wasn't killed, but I think the answer is pretty simple.
Through
Arthur
the
would have probably
side
been
of
the
his
only family
jaw
member capable of
and
defending
came
himself,
out
so Charlie
just
knew he had
before
to
his
act when
ear.
Arthur was out of the house.
He is so lucky he didn't lose like any eyesight or puncture his brain or anything.
So what do you guys think? Why did Charlie Lawson murder his family? And do you think that he had already planned it out when the photograph was taken? Let me know what you think, and if you like this video, please subscribe to Cryptic for more.
What do you guys think? I think he was a fucking psycho and he killed his parent. It reminds me of the DeFeo? Is that what they're called from Amityville? The DeFeo murders? Oh, we're back to Nuke.
Top 5 mysterious events caught on video. Lost in Colorado.
Was he
On August
Satan?
10th,
Dr.
1984,
Satan!
James Cadell set out on a trip in his private plane from Granby, Colorado to Jeffby, Colorado. Accompanying him was his friend Ronald Wilmond. The plane disappeared somewhere along its journey and was never found. On August 27, 1987, over 3 years later, a 14-year-old hiker stumbled upon the charred wreckage of the plane in Colorado's Rocky Mountains. The plane's pilot and passenger were long dead. When authorities searched the crash site, they found a heavily damaged VHS tape from a camera that had been mounted in the plane's
VHS
cockpit.
tape?
The video was nearly destroyed, and parts of the tape were actually found hanging from tree branches. Somehow, authorities managed to reconstruct the damaged video. They found frightening footage of the plane's final moments.
His friend Ronald Reagan. That's it.
At the time of the crash, the pilot, James Cadell, had no experience flying over mountainous terrain. Experts have noted that James can be seen in the footage flying too low over the tree line, and that the plane can be heard stalling as he tries to pull the throttle up too much to avoid the nearby mountains.
Damn, hang on, Ronnie!
Hang on, Ronnie.
Photographer captures his own death.
Oh, this
In
one's
July
tough,
2013, it was believed that ousted Egyptian President Mohamed Morsi was being held inside the Republican Guard building in Cairo, Egypt. A large group of pro-Morsi protesters had gathered outside. Suddenly, snipers from the roof of the Egyptian Republican Guard building opened fire on the crowd. Freelance photographer Ahmed El Sanusi was filming the violence.
That dude up on the roof playing Battlefield. Got him.
Later, after the gunfire had ended, at least 51 people lay dead. When the corpses were removed, Ahmed El Sanusi's
Ronnie
dead
and his
body
boy
was
had
found
trained
among
in
the
Florida
victims.
to fly into the
Near
Twin
him
Towers.
lay his camera. Later, when the footage Ahmed had recorded
I
was
don't know, Gene,
examined,
you tell me.
it was found that Ahmed had actually filmed
You got all
the
these
very
clones
moment
out
of his
there,
death,
Gene.
as we see a sniper take aim at him
Boom.
and fire. The camera goes dark.
That's kind of creepy.
Destroyed by the
Shoots
sniper's
that one
shot.
person, then just does
Ghost
just
man
straight
vandalism.
over to you. Boom, dead.
For 7 months, a woman in China was besieged by attacks of disgusting vandalism to her apartment door. The culprit repeatedly smeared human feces and urine on the entryway to her apartment.
Okay, I got a 12-pack of White Claw.
She was also left notes accusing her of,
Should
quote,
be able to have
interfering
anything
with another
streamed
person's
now.
family. After months
White
of
Claw?
this
Is that-
disgusting vandalism, she set up
never
a
had White
series
Claw,
of
I never heard of that
CCTV
before.
cameras to monitor
I would
her
try
front
it though,
door.
just based on the name.
Eventually, this is what she found. After an investigation, a 42-year-old man captured on one video without his strange mask was arrested in association with the attacks.
Busted. Yo, they
Creepy
creepy
home
over in
intruder.
Japan, dude.
One late night, Jack McArcher and his girlfriend Jordan fell asleep
What's
on their
that-
couch
what's
watching the
that
TV
flag
show
they got
Mr.
going
Robot.
on?
Little
Mr.
did they
Robot?
know that someone had broken into their house
Mr. Robot is
and was creeping
okay.
around upstairs.
But the writing is
Later
kind
the
of
next
lazy
day, Jordan
on
couldn't
Mr.
find her
Robot.
purse. Her boyfriend
Do you know what
Jack
they
was
call
sure that
the
he had seen her
evil
with the purse
corporation
earlier
in
the
Mr.
previous
Robot?
day.
They
They
call
decided
it
to review their home
Evil
security
Corp.
cameras in hopes of locating her purse. They were horrified by what they found.
That was a Chicago.
In the footage,
Chicago
a man
flag
can be
wave.
seen watching the couple sleep on the couch from the stairs above them.
Oh shit!
He
There he
remains
is.
there, eerily staring at the sleeping couple for almost 15 minutes. Then he leaves.
Bro.
The same man had been captured on neighborhood security cameras checking for unlocked doors in the neighborhood the same night.
Look at that fucking
To this
dude.
day, the home intruder
Look at
has
this
not been
dude.
found.
John.
BGC execution. A lost cell phone is found left in the back
John,
of a
we
taxi in
drinking
Fiji.
and we
A
watching
college
creepy
student
videos.
finds the phone and begins to look through it to try to determine the phone's owner. He is shocked by what he actually finds. On the phone, there is an over 10-minute long video. The video shows 4 large tuna fishing boats somewhere on the open seas. The 4 vessels are surrounding one small boat that is overturned with several unarmed men floating in the water. Then the video turns truly gruesome as someone begins firing a gun at the men in the water, executing them one by one as the
What?
camera rolls. It is estimated that over 40 rounds were fired from an automatic weapon at the men until all of them were left dead, floating in the ocean.
Holy shit.
After the grisly execution-style slaying, the men on the boat can be seen posing and taking selfies as they celebrate their
Holy
kill.
fuck, what a bunch of
Despite
assholes.
the fact that the video shows dozens of
What?
witnesses on 4 different ships, the victims have never been identified, and neither have their
Dude.
murderers.
You imagine you're drowning, you think you're gonna drown, you see a boat, you think you're safe, and then they start fucking shooting at you. Never forget the USS Liberty. Alright. Unexplained. 6 mysterious events from West Virginia that
Urban
can't be
legends
explained.
and terrifying myths of all kinds seem to surface from all around the world as reports of strange, supernatural, paranormal, and extraterrestrial accounts spread through a town or region like wildfire. Some of these urban legends tend to never leave the region in which they first began, whereas others might make national headlines all around the world in their appearance. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we will be covering 6 additional urban legends that come from West Virginia and their strange tales.
West Virginia. Pronounced Best Virginia, but spelled OHIO.
The Snallygaster. Although the creature might seem
That's
like
right,
a
Gene, I
strange
said it.
amalgamation of many different mythological creatures all put into one, the sightings behind that of the Snallygaster creature have been reported since the first German immigrants landed in the area of central Maryland back in the 1730s. The first witness accounts of the creature came from these isolated German communities that claimed they were being attacked and stalked by a monster they referred to as the Schnellergeist, of which later became Snallygaster to the other immigrants in the region.
Schnallygeist.
Witnesses described the monster as having
Geist.
the features of a bird,
Geist
the features
means
of a siren,
guest.
and the
right?
nightmarish
Doesn't
designs of a demon and a ghoul mixed in one. The creature was detailed as being half reptile, half bird, equipped with a metal beak lined with saw-like teeth, the tentacles of an octopus, and had the ability to fly
That's
down
right,
from
we
the sky
Midwest is
and pick up
best.
and carry off with its victims. Other stories claimed that the monster was capable of attaching its suction cup tentacles to the face of an individual and slowly suck out all of the blood from their body.
Geist means ghost?
Reports of the creature seemed to end by the end of the 1700s.
Oh, I thought it
as
meant
many of those
guest.
in the isolated communities
And
claimed to have used
ghost
stars with
is
7 points on them
means
to ward off the
unwanted
creature.
guest?
The complete disappearance
Okay,
of the
Geist
creature
means
did not
ghost.
prevent stories
Alright.
of the monster from surfacing
It
all
would make
throughout
sense,
the area
poltergeist.
through rumors and myth.
Poltergeist
Back in the early
means...
1900s, a local news outlet perpetuated a massive
I
hoax
don't know.
report
Stop
that
asking me
detailed the monster
questions,
attacking
chat.
citizens all over the town, of which
Too
eventually
drunk.
caused many different
Literally
citizens
halfway
to write
through my
letters
4th
to
beer and
Theodore
I'm
Roosevelt
already
to help
fucking
hunt down
wasted.
and take down the beast. Ever since this event, mention of the creature has faded away, and the Snallygaster is only known as an old myth of a
Snallygaster.
monster in the region. The Grafton Monster.
Gene caused the
In the
USS
small
Liberty
town of
incident?
Grafton,
Gene,
West
why'd you do
Virginia,
that?
Strange reports of
Polter
a hulking
means
monster
guest.
roaming
Oh, okay.
around the countryside sparked interest amongst locals looking to uncover the truth behind the
That's what I
claims.
said on one of my
Back in the
last streams,
1960s,
Gene, was
Many
I have all
residents
this information in my
claimed that they could
head,
see a
but I don't
wandering,
know how
lonely figure
correct it
that was
actually
said to
is.
be similar
Like, I'm
in
always
design
like,
to that of
always
a
like
grotesque
half
Bigfoot
correct.
creature or that of the elusive skunk ape roaming in the region of the town of Grafton. Eyewitness statements claim that the creature stood somewhere between 7 to 9 feet tall, with slick, pale skin similar to that of a seal. While some witnesses claimed that the monster was headless when viewed from the back, others have claimed that the creature had a head down close to its chest, with a large humpback
Guest
blocking the
is
view of the head
gassed.
from behind.
Okay.
Many farmers in the area have reported cattle going missing
Genova,
due
get
to
out.
the creature, as well as
Porky.
hearing a low whistling
Porky,
sound
you
before
son
being
bitch.
attacked by the monster itself. Given the large amount of sightings in the town and the focus of the residents
Poltergeist is
to
some
rid
wonky
themselves
guest
of the
inside
creature
you don't
back
want.
in the
Yeah,
1960s, the creature was referred to as the Grafton Monster
Strong!
and was the main focus of farmers and paranoid residents looking to save their town from a terrible monstrosity. Fortunately enough, over the next few years,
Razor Fist
sightings
is
of the
watching
creature
something
died down and eventually stopped altogether.
Horrifying right
Today,
now.
the creature is remembered only in myth.
Gene, you already did Sheep Squatch.
The White Thing.
The
Although
white
this
thing.
creature is much more elusive in nature and mysterious in behavior,
That's
the
what white people
things are
will be
known as
referred
one
to
of the
in
more terrifying
50
monsters
years.
roaming the woods of West Virginia and the nearby
The white
Appalachian
thing.
Mountains. Some cryptid experts believe the white things to be a variation of the widely reported sheep squatch or
Oh, there's sheep
snow-covered
squatch.
yeti,
There you go, Gene.
whereas others believe
Got
the
your
white
sheep
things
squatch.
are an entirely different species of monster roaming the region of West Virginia. Eyewitnesses have reported the white things in a number of different shapes, from that of large dogs,
The
the
Dems
size
are
of a bear,
debating
a
again?
shaggy lion with snow-white
Why even
fur, or
bother?
that in
We
design
get
of
it.
massive
You hate
badgers
America.
that can tear down trees. No one really knows what they look like aside from the vague descriptions of a
The
large
white
mass
thing
and white
in
fur.
my public
Those claiming to
school?
hear the
You're
creature
damn
describe
right,
its
John.
screams similar to that of a woman crying out in pain, whereas those of whom have seen the creature describe it as
BRB
having far
telling
too
you
many
to.
legs and fangs capable of tearing through flesh. The Snarly Yow. In the past, there have been many strange
This is our
claims
second
reporting that
Snarly.
creatures known as the Shadow People will
Snarly
appear
Geist and the
disappear before
Snarly
people,
Yow?
seemingly made entirely out of nothing but a shadowy substance. Interestingly enough, it appears that in West Virginia, a similar creature appears to be the case for strange shadow-like canine creatures referred to as the Snarly Yow. The Snarly Yow is described as being similar to that in design to a large wolf with glowing red eyes, but made entirely out of nothing but shadows and capable of moving at incredibly fast speeds. According to a witness report in the region of West Virginia, a hunter went out into the Appalachian Mountains
neither,
on a camping
John.
trip and came across
I was hoping
an
they all
encounter
had
with a
given up
Snarly
by
Yow.
now.
As he fired at the
I did
creature
hear, though,
with his
that they're
hunting
not allowed to
rifle,
pick on
the
Mayor
bullets merely
Buttboy
passed through
anymore.
the body of the
Because
creature
he's going to be
as
the
if it
front runner now.
occupied no space. As the Snarly Yow jumped towards him, it appeared as if none of his shots were making a dent into the creature, of which caused him to turn around and run out of the forest as quick as he could move. To this day,
Hell yeah,
many
we're
others
taking
report
your
the same
guns.
creature lurking around their property
Come and
or
fucking
in
get
the
'em,
forests
Beto.
nearby, preying on creatures
fucking
too
soy
curious to
fag.
back away from the shadowy figure
Soy
roaming the
fag.
area.
It's kind of an oxymoron, right?
The Greenbrier
No.
Ghost. Although many might be well aware of the legends of strange monsters roaming the state of
Hell
West
yeah.
Virginia, many are not aware
We've got to
of the
take the
existence of
country
the
back
urban
from
legend
this
involving
bigot,
the story
Donald
of the
Trump.
Greenbrier Ghost. According to the
Democrats
rumors
are the
in
scariest
Greenbrier
fucking
County
thing,
of
let's
West
face it.
Virginia, there were reports of a wife that had gone missing back in 1897, only for her body to be found at the foot of the stairs in her childhood home. It was originally believed that she had died due to natural causes, but further evidence then pointed to signs of struggle beforehand. A few weeks later, the mother of the victim claimed to have encountered the angered spirit of the daughter that told her the true nature of her death. This then led to the court using the mother's testimony of the ghost to locate the murderer nearby, a blacksmith that had entered the town as a drifter and held a mysterious past. After a further autopsy, it was revealed that
Yeah,
the neck
John,
had been broken
you're
with
not
finger
wrong.
markings made
Before
apparent
you-
after
next
a
4
few
years
days
are
of
gonna be
bruising to
fun.
form. The man then confessed to the murder and was held and tried for the murder of the victim. Today, many believe that the ghost the mother had seen was indeed the ghost of the victim found at the bottom of the stairs, and many others have claimed to have seen this manifestation since then, now referred to as the Greenbrier Ghost.
The Greenbrier Ghost. Watch out for him, Gene.
Sheep Squatch. Similar to that of its Sasquatch counterpart, the Sheep Squatch of West Virginia stands at over
But I
9
thought we
feet
already had
tall
the Sheep
and seems to be
Squatch.
a strange hybrid of a large woolly man with the face of a ram and large horns to match. The creature is believed to be native to the forests of West Virginia, with a number of eyewitness reports of the creature coming out through many different woodlands and mountainous areas, scaring a wide variety of locals in the region. Back in 1995, an incident involving a group of campers out in the forest at night in an area located around a dense forest featured the monster in its entirety. According to the group of campers, they hear what originally was described as the huffing and snorting of a bear in the region, only for the large sheep-squatch creature to come running out of the bushes and attempt to attack them. Although they ran away completely unharmed, they claimed they could hear the monster's terrible screams chasing them through the forest. Witness reports of the creature today vary from that of the creature running on two
White
legs,
things exist a
or
lot
crawling
more
around
than
on
black
all
things
fours,
in West
with
Virginia.
that of a long tail behind it. Regardless of these variations in witness account, they all compare the monster to that of a ram and give it the name the sheep squatch. Today, the creature is known to inhabit mountainous regions all throughout North America, as well as make rare appearances all throughout the denser South American jungles located in Brazil, as other locals of the area have reported in the past. There has been no cause for the explanation of the creature, and it appears that any further evidence surrounding the creature's existence is up for question.
If you love this video, John, you got Gene to thank.
But what do you all think of these strange and almost supernatural urban legends floating around the area of West Virginia and the supposed creatures that prowl the nearby forestry? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comment section below and help us to grow this community while working to solve
John, how
these
do I
unexplained
sound?
mysteries.
John, you're always
Thank
saying
you
I
for
sound
watching,
low.
and
Do
don't
I
forget
sound
to
better
subscribe
now?
for more
I think I
videos.
figured out the audio. Talking about the terrifying Esau? Was one of them Mothman? No, actually, surprisingly, I don't know if we've ever covered Mothman on the Spook Show.
When it comes to fall, your thoughts turn of fall
Who the fuck
colors
is
in the
this
leaves,
guy?
pawpaws on the trees.
All right,
and
John, good.
Beautiful hiking
Pat
fall trips,
Quackenbush?
cool weather, and of course, my personal favorite, ghost stories in the park. We've picked a few really good places if you want to get out and experience a little more.
These are
of
the kind of people you meet in
paranormal side of
Ohio,
Ohio
folks.
State
Don't
Parks.
ever go
I'm
there.
standing here at the Hope Furnace, which is a famous location, but we have to go back a few years to the early 1800s when this place was in
Quackenbush?
full operation.
What fucking
And our
kind of name
ghost
is that?
stories begin right here at the Hope Furnace
No
itself.
wonder he became a
with one of the
fucking
early
ranger.
guards for this area. While on night shift, his job was to go through and make sure nobody was messing with the iron stockpiles, the material stockpiles, the buildings themselves, the tools. So he had to go from time to time into the massive furnace and keep things going. Now, while he was making his rounds one particularly, there was a town meeting going on. But
Their
as he was
state's
wandering
native
across
fruit.
the furnace area, checking it out, he decided to take the shortcut directly over top of the smelting iron down below.
You ever had
Well, about halfway
pawpaws?
across, he lost his
No,
footing.
Gene, I never had
Fell down
pawpaws.
into
What
the
is
molten
that?
hot iron below. Unfortunately, he was by himself, so most folks never even knew what
I got
happened
it,
to him
Shrug.
right off. But that very same evening, while the town meeting
If we
was
get
going
time,
on,
I don't know
they
how
heard a
long
knock
this
on the door,
playlist is
a very
going to run,
loud
but if we get
bang
time, I will totally
on
throw
the front
that
door
into
of the tavern. Of course, they went,
the
opened the door,
playlist. If
nothing.
not, I will save
Closed the
it for
door
later.
about 10, 15 minutes later, another loud bang on the door. At this point, the town elders felt it was just probably some of the kids, local kids, playing fun with them there at the tavern.
I got like
But
2
after
new
the third or fourth
subscribers.
try,
Thanks
they
for the
began to search out
subscriptions,
through the
guys.
area,
Appreciate it.
And it wasn't long after that they discovered the body of the gentleman who had fallen into the furnace itself. That's just one of them here at Lake Hope. We've also got just down the road the little tiny town of Moonville Station and Moonville Tunnel.
You
right
know
in the heart
that
of the
you
Western
know this
State
guy
Forest.
has not only been
You've got everything
stuffed
from the
into a
train
locker,
wreck, where the
but he's
engineer-
he's
both of the
had
engineers
several
were killed. He said that
swirlies
Frank Wallhead
in
was
his
walking
life.
back and forth through the tunnel itself. How about the town bully? Every Friday night, old Baldy Keaton
See,
would
look at
go
him
over
talking
to the
about
tavern,
bullies.
Have one too many, and would end up bullying or picking on a fight on somebody. At one particular point, apparently the locals had had enough. So they tracked old Baldy Keaton back, and they caught up with him late one night above the tunnel itself. Unfortunately, he was stabbed to death and then
Good thing
thrown down
Porky's
into
not
the
here.
tunnel
I don't
itself.
like that dude.
You know, to this day, while standing at the Moonville Tunnel, you still occasionally, many people report little rocks and pebbles and pieces of this and that flying from the top of the tunnel, hitting them on the head or the shoulder or whatever. And of course, the locals
I don't
said,
know
if you don't
what
quit acting that way,
I don't know
Baldy
what
Keaton will
park
get you.
this is at.
But that's just Lake Hope. Go
It's
down the road just a little bit. Head over to Hocking Hill
Porky.
State Park. You've got the
I
ghost of
actually
the old man
live
himself,
next to a
Richard
state
Road,
park,
the old man of Old Man's Cave.
but
He
not
still
this
said to
one.
greet folks as
I
you
actually
come
live
down
next
steps
to
from
two
time to
state
time with his
parks.
two
I live in
massive
between
hound
them.
dogs that he kept down there.
One of the state parks
He
is
died
bigger
by a
than
gun accident,
Manhattan.
cracking ice in the middle of the winter down below the cave. And it was actually his friends, the Wyandottes, who discovered
Fuck you,
him and
Genova.
supposedly buried him somewhere near his beloved cave. The unfortunate part is the Wyandotte never marked their graves, so we don't know exactly where Richard Roe was
On his way
buried.
to Strog, we
They
got to
say
get
if you listen to
Heretic
this
Channel
full
to 100
movie,
subs
you can still hear
first.
hounds baying, and they'll take you exactly
Then
to
I'll
the
then
grave.
I'll worry about 100 subs. I don't know
How about Ash Cave?
if there were like 100 people in this chat, I'd be
We've got the
stuttering my
White
ass.
Lady
I'd be
who
like,
appears from time to time to hikers in groups. She comes out, long flower
I'd be
dress,
nervous
no
as
shoes,
shit.
long brown hair, and quietly follows groups as they move up and down the trail in Ash Cave. How about the drums of Ash Cave, the native drums?
Porky,
with
you
the
know
bird
you're
in
my
the back?
favorite.
Well, let's move on up through the state. Head up towards Malabar Farm State Park, right? The famous Louis Bromfield Mansion inside, to this day, still has ghosts and spirits moving around. You can hear footsteps, lights. The lights themselves actually fade on and off.
Don't worry,
Small
I'll be
lights
doing
fading on the property.
like Ohio
That's an awesome
focused
one right there.
streams
I
that'll
like to go
just
up
talk
myself,
about
Punderson
Ohio.
Punderson
And-
Manor was originally
Oh, Punderson,
a home
I've
owned by a
camped there
wealthy businessman
multiple
in
times,
Chicago,
Punderson.
which was later acquired in 1948 by Ohio
I
State Parks and
Gene, I
added
was
on
just
to
talking to
become
you
the
about
Manor
Punderson.
Resort. But to this day, they talk about small children that you can hear moving about in there, and a lady that sometimes moves down this main spiral staircase in the old part of the manor.
You can
Hey guys,
either
wherever you choose
camp
to
in the
go,
woods at
State
Punderson,
Park, Malabar Farm, Lake
or
Hope,
you
Hocking
can
Hills,
you
maybe
can
John
stay at the
Bryant,
hotel
or
and
the
go
Ghost of the
ghost
Lake House.
hunting.
Wherever it is, stay safe, stay on the trail, check the rules ahead of time, but get out and do a little ghost hunting in Ohio State Parks.
We don't have ghosts in the state parks that I'm in between. We have real life murders, like someone taking a dead body
Now 5 scary,
and
unexplained
taking their
sounds
car,
that you never
parking
want to
it,
hear.
and then setting it on
Unwelcome
fire.
guess.
And then we
This next
have
clip was sent in
the
to me
other
by
state
John
park,
Plymouth.
which has a lot of
He says
Bigfoot
that he and his
sightings
friend
in
Alan
it.
were checking out an abandoned farmhouse near his grandmother's home in upstate New York. As you can see, the house is isolated. It sits in the middle of nowhere on a barely traveled back road. The outside looks like something right out of a horror movie. And the inside is no better.
Base
Bro,
locker boy went
it
out in a deep
stinks.
woods and has never been bullied again. And then he had fisticuffs with his
Look at all
skinwalker.
this garbage.
If he's still around, good on him for surviving the Mythicost. The Mythicost. The fuck is wrong with where you live?
Look how
Oh,
old those
Gene.
TVs are.
Nobody knows. It's all about that. I don't know if you guys ever seen that
The house
meme
is a death trap.
that says like
full of
something
rot
like
and mold.
11 of the 12
Upstairs floor is so rotten
astronauts
the
are
two
from
afraid to even
Ohio.
try to venture up
What
the
the
stairs.
fuck about your state makes
And
you
the
want to
basement
leave the
is piled
planet?
with garbage.
Yo, I guess that's it.
That's the basement?
Yeah, that's disgusting. It's just
the Heartland,
trash.
baby.
But then they hear something upstairs.
You're hearing that, right? Like random footsteps?
Somebody was up there.
Gene lives in a cassette shop. Gene lives in an RV that doubles as a VHS vinyl cassette shop, and he travels around.
I'm going through the back.
And if you find him, you can rent VHSs and vinyl cassettes from him, or buy them if you want to.
Now it's interesting to note that one of the boys mentions that the floor is so rotten that if someone were upstairs, they would fall right through. Because when I was watching the video, I noticed this.
What'd you
Fall
notice?
through.
Whoa, what is that?
Through one of the narrow, rotten holes in the floor, it almost looks like someone is staring down at them from above. Or maybe it's just an optical illusion. Either way, the boys did not return to investigate further.
Bro!
It definitely moved, like the camera was steady on that angle and whatever was in between those slits moved. But that, I
Through the
don't think
mill.
they were eyes.
On the YouTube channel The Haunted Side, ghost hunters Patrick and Sean investigate the supposedly haunted Donovan Mill in Nevada.
And if
In
you
this
don't
clip,
return on
the
time, you
haunted
get
side team is using
decapitated
a
by a
Kinect
vinyl distance
SLS
ray.
infrared camera to scan for potential ghosts. And then this happens.
I'm not sure if it's old floorboards just kind of popping as I'm walking, but I've gotten that twice now. I don't really know. And I'm getting a lot of high-pitch frequency interference in here.
It could be a critter, Cindy.
Whoa, what
That's
the was that?
That's the most logical explanation. Probably some kind of
What
fucking
the
animal.
Okay,
What did you hear?
I don't know, dude. I don't know. I don't know what that was.
It's mapping somebody over there, dude.
Is it?
It's mapping somebody over there.
You guys ever heard of the LA Pony and Critter Club?
I heard like a
You should look
like
it
a
up.
blood-curdling girl scream. Like,
I'm sure most
like
of
it
you
sounded
would
like
think
it was in
it's
the
a great
distance.
fucking time.
But I
You
don't
fucking
even.
degenerates.
Dude, I didn't hear that.
Woo! That was very, very spooky. Whoa, what the? Whoa, what the?
Next, they set up a camera to film in a large room.
It's
that
almost
is one
like
of the
people
oldest
forget
parts
that you
of
can
the
add
Donovan
audio
Mill.
in
We leave
post.
the night vision camera recording in this room all night, and about 45 minutes after we leave, we catch something unbelievable.
The tagline is, "Your late fee is your life." I like it strong.
What's really strange about this figure is that it appears to be moving in slow motion. Here's the same clip played 3 times in fast forward so you can get a better idea of what the movement would look like in real time.
Dude, if you got a fast forward, what were we
Later
watching
the
on
guys
the
use
last
a weird
Spook
little
Show?
device
We were
called an
watching like
obelisk,
some
which supposedly
doll
allows
was
ghosts to
moving
manipulate
at like
electromagnetic fields to produce words
700%.
from an internal dictionary. But
And then
they
we
get
were like,
more
oh,
than
it's just
a
the
few random
vibrations
words.
in the fucking table that are moving it
whatever
because
it
they
is
had
you
their
need.
device on the table. Stupid.
4 time.
Why did that say two words?
Yeah, it's 2 whole words on there.
Oh, no. Bro, that said it weird too.
Yeah, it like drug it. Oh my god! What the? That was
Dude, no, that was not me.
See, here
Dude,
at the
oh my
Midnight
God, I got
Society,
chills up to my.
we don't buy
Dude,
this
I got
shit.
chills all the way up to like.
That wasn't you?
That was not me, dude.
Gene and I are about to start our own ghost hunting
Oh, no.
group called Ghost
Bro, that
Bullies.
said weird.
We're gonna go in there, we're gonna fight some ghosts, talk some shit to them.
That wasn't you?
Dude, no, that was not me.
What's unbelievable
Get our
about
own
this
show
chair
on the
moving
Travel
is
Channel.
If you watch my body and the table, they're both completely still up until when the chair hits the opposite side of the table. So there's no way that I would have accidentally
no
nudged
way,
it
bruh.
or kicked it or anything like that, because you would have seen both of those move.
Did the haunted side
How
team
would I
catch
have
a
seen
screaming
both of
ghost
those
on
move? You
camera?
could have easily
What do you
just taken
think?
your foot and
By
swiped
the way,
that
you can
chair
check out
out.
this entire video as well as the haunted side's other investigations over on their YouTube channel. The Lady in the Water.
It is fake, Cindy.
Over the last week, this next clip has gone viral in the country of Saudi
You're gonna be
Arabia.
the sacrificial guy that goes in
appearing on
alone,
the
Weeb?
nightly news. So the story goes that the townspeople of Jazan, Saudi Arabia,
I bet
began
your
to hear
mom's
strange
fat
sounds
ghost
coming
pussy.
from a long-abandoned water tank. When they
Weeb, you
gathered
come
at the
with
tank
us?
to investigate,
Just send you in by
things just
yourself?
got stranger.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم خلينا نشوف يلي هنا انت ادمي بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
Find a haunted high school. Those bully ghost nerds.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن
What the
الرحيم
fuck are you
مالك يوم
saying,
الدين
camel jockey?
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
Holy shit.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
Go to the
برب
Amityville
الفلق
house
من شر ما
first
خلق
drug.
ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب
We might end
ومن
up
شر
watching an
النفاثات في العقد
Amityville
ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد
video tonight. Depends on how much time we got.
بسم الله نقدر نقدم ينتهي الربع
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
Gene, I can't go anywhere if I can't smoke.
The townspeople called local authorities, but by the time they arrived, the screaming had stopped. They investigated, but there was absolutely no one inside
I got
the
you,
tank.
Porky. I see your
بسم الله
video.
الرحمن الرحيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
300 feet down. Over on the YouTube channel Exploring Abandoned Mines, a guy named Frank and his team explore
Porky,
some
I'll put it in
crazy
towards the end of the
out-of-the-way caves
playlist
and
if we got
mines.
time.
In this video,
If not,
his team
I'll
member
save
Gabe
it for
agrees
the
to be
next
lowered
Spookshow
into
we
a
do.
550-foot deep mine shaft in Mexico.
Like I said,
Now,
I'm
if you're
mainly
even
going to be
slightly
focusing on like
claustrophobic or
true
have a fear
crime
of
type
heights,
shit for
this
ether
alone is
streams.
pure nightmare fuel.
I'll definitely do some like
I'm going
Gene
down
does
the mine shaft right
spotlights,
now. I'm gonna be
so I
going
figured
down
I would do
600
black
feet.
lights. Which I stole
Yeah,
from
it's
Red Letter
scary, I'll
Media
admit
because
that.
they do blacklight episodes. So every now and then I'll do some spotlights. Every now and then I'll do some streams that are focused on Ohio.
Oh man.
And it gets even
but since
scarier
it's
when the rope
October,
gets tangled and Gabe is just, left dangling halfway down.
Midnight Society, we're just all things creepy.
Or like twists in the rope.
I don't want to sit here too long. My imagination will go crazy. You know, let's just look around a little bit. It's just super scary. I should probably change my mind right about now.
But the creepiness
Porky,
doesn't
there's
stop
actually
there.
a place like
At
that.
around 300 feet down in the mine shaft, Gabe hears something.
In one of the parks that I actually go to a lot. It's called the Witch's
Some
Hole,
rocks to drop.
and there's like handmade chairs that are there from like logs and shit.
First,
It's
it
clear
almost sounds
people
like
are
a quiet
partying
little
down
voice
there.
says, "Oh,"
And like the
and there's a
tunnel
bizarre
is
hissing
like
sound.
an old like railroad area.
What was that?
Fourth beer down.
There has been rampant speculation in the
And if you
YouTube
didn't-
comments as to what the
didn't know I
strange
was a
sounds might
lightweight,
be.
I am
Everything from
fucking-
animals and creatures to simple white noise.
I am so drunk right
What
now.
do you think? You can check out the
I don't know
entire
if it's
two-part
because,
series
like-
of the 550-foot descent into the mine over on the YouTube channel Exploring Abandoned Mines.
I don't know if Solo Genova
creatures
streams
of
are
the
going.
night.
Thanks, Weeb.
So in this video recorded in East Texas, the uploader claims that there are some strange sounds going on outside his home.
Four people
we're
die.
just sitting
I
around
will be
hanging
doing
out,
like heists and shit too,
watching
Porky.
TV, and cats are laying right here at my feet.
Two of the
Next thing you
main
know, they get
topics
up
I
and
plan
take
on
off running,
doing when I
tails cocked
actually
out, so
start doing that is
heard
I will
something
be
they didn't
talking
like.
about the Cleveland
Been
torso
some
murders,
strange sounds,
and then I'll be talking
heard
about
a
the
few
high incident
bangs on the
bandits
house, so they
who
heard
were
something
bank
that,
robbers.
something they didn't like. So
But I'm into
Let's check
heists
it
and shit
out.
like that too.
what's going on?
And then you guys will be able to like, you guys will have Gene's Eerie Hours. So like Ether and Eerie Hours will sort of work in like, what's the word I'm looking for? They'll work together. We're the Midnight Society. Even though it's like 10:04 or some shit like that.
Sure about my flashlight.
10:04 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Society.
See the trail. See the trail going up there.
Dude, what's that noise? Oh, those sounds like coyotes.
Down by the way.
We get coyotes out here all the time. Every night at like 2 a.m. if you watch out your window, you can see deer run past my driveway, and then about 10 minutes later, just a whole pack of coyotes will run right after. They just little baby coyotes. They're more scared of you than you are of them. Tandem. Yes.
First, he
Thank you,
dismisses
Gene.
the sounds as simply being the howls and yips of
You know,
faraway
Gene.
coyotes.
Gene, you know better than anybody.
Then
It's
the
hard
sound gets
working with a
closer
potato
and
brain.
Doesn't seem so much like
Oh, and
coyotes
spaghetti
anymore.
and sauce, potato. Guys, let's go inside. We're gonna go to the refrigerator. I'm gonna get another beer. We're gonna be looking at our 5th beer. Which is, I know, it's lightweight. I know it's lightweight. You know, the strange thing is, if I was actually drinking, like, liquor, dude, beer, for some reason, beer Can't handle
So did this guy capture
liquor?
the sound of strange beasts
I
howling
can
and
drink
screaming
the
into
shit
the night?
out of liquor,
Or
and
is
it
all
takes
just an
a
elaborate
long
hoax?
time before I
You
actually
decide.
fucking get wasted.
Thanks for watching. You can suggest videos at nukestop5@gmail.com.
The ghost that
and
scared
follow me
my
on Twitter
mama.
to find out just how a CGI roast chicken became a popular viral alien video.
Look at that
I'm not even
fucking
kidding.
video.
See you next time.
Porky, what's a White Claw? Porky, post a picture of White Claw in the Discord so I can see it. Alright guys, we're moving on to the Kiyotaki Tunnel. Alright, somewhere in Japan. It's a shame Sweets isn't here. She would be able to correct my pronunciation. This is the kind of things drunk people say, Genova.
In Kyoto Prefecture,
One bourbon,
in
one
the
scotch,
Kansai
one
region
beer.
of the
Strong,
island of
that's what you're
Honshu
on.
in Japan, the town of
Ladder
Saga
noise wasn't a
Kiyotaki is home
coyote.
to the mysterious and haunted
Probably not.
Kiyotaki Tunnel.
I heard the coyotes.
The tunnel is 444
Two Jack and
meters
Cokes
long,
deep. Oh,
and with the
Beav, I love
Japanese
me a good
word for
Jack and
four
Coke.
sounding the same as the word for death, this tunnel wards off all who are superstitious.
It's
or
alcoholic
weak of heart.
seltzer? The fuck are you drinking, Porky?
It was constructed in the late 1920s
Seltzer?
by slave labor, and its purpose was to enable a railway line to be built, connecting the town to the
I would
neighboring
still try it, but it's not
Arashiyama
its
City.
fucking name. What I need to get
The
me some
working conditions were
Rasputins.
appalling, and the
Rasputins are only
dangerous
sold in
environment,
4
coupled with
packs
frequent
because
earthquakes,
they're like
led to the death of
fucking
many of
like
its workforce.
15% or something like that. One of
Over the
those
course
things
of the
will just
construction,
put you down.
dozens of workers lost their lives,
They might not
and
be
some
15%.
were left to
but
rot where they fell.
I need to get me some Burning Rivers. The thing is, I'm poor,
Others
so
were
I don't
given
have
a
any
final
fucking
resting
money.
place only
So
a
when my
short
neighbor says,
distance
"Hey, you
away
want some
from
beer
the tunnel.
and some food for free?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah, I'll take that shit."
The railway line was eventually replaced with a roadway, and in the years since, there have been several accounts of strange and terrifying happenings
What song
within
don't I know,
the tunnel
Strug?
walls. There have been sightings of strange apparitions,
Oh, one bourbon, one
and
scotch,
even the
one beer.
ghosts of the deceased workers appearing
Strong, I
in
don't know
people's
it off the
vehicles
top of
as
my
they
head,
pass
no.
through. Sometimes, voices can be heard, with an array of screams and mutterings emanating from within the darkness.
Post it in the Discord. Let me go over here. What the fuck? You know, I think my
Others claim
sister
feel
used to.
nauseous
Black
when they enter the
cherry?
tunnel.
Porky!
Some put this down to the poor air quality caused by excessive exhaust
Stop.
gases. Others say it's more than that, as there is often an acrid
I
stench
kind of
of
like it
death
though,
in the
Porky. You
air,
got the
which
beer
lingers
on
inside
the fucking
car for
laptop
hours
with
post-passing
the
through.
ether stream going. I like it.
Motorists also have claimed
But I
that their
think my
car
sister
feels like
used
it's
to
being
drink
buffeted
those.
by strong winds as they pass through. And
You
when
get
they
a
exit,
you get a
their
free pack
car
of
is
tampons
covered
when you
by
buy
dirty
a 12
handprints.
pack, Porky.
There have also been claims of a terrifying woman in white who haunts the entrance to the tunnel at night.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong.
Her featureless face
White
stares
is
chillingly
usually
at all
a
who enter,
normal color for
and she's
Japanese
been known
ghosts,
to
but
cause fatal
ghosts,
accidents
Japanese
by jumping
ghosts
into the
in
path
red
of oncoming traffic.
mean they're actually more powerful, I believe.
For the most part, you'll be quite safe when you drive through Kiyotaki.
It's a
Tunnel.
variety pack.
However, you must avoid looking into your mirror at
you see it?
all
No.
costs. For if you see your own corpse looking
Ron
back
Burgundy, one scotch, one... Oh,
4
George
days
Thorogood.
later, you will die.
I have like a weird desk corner for my...
horrible
Jesus,
death.
Porky, do you live in a pod? Gene, got him. I have a weird corner desk from IKEA. That's okay, Porky. I used to have IKEA furniture too. Then I decided to stop living as a homosexual. George Thorogood is good, Strog. Man, I am all over the place tonight. All right.
Crime scenes
3
are
bizarre crime
extraordinarily
scenes.
similar to
We're
puzzles.
back to our boy
there are
Rob
many
Dyke.
different pieces that hold crucial details. Although some details are obvious,
Rob used to have a
others are
gaming
less
stream he did
apparent.
with his friend
But at
Justin
length, the
called
detective
Zombie
can
Horse.
usually connect the pieces
Their playthrough
until
of
the image
Outlast
the
is
details
one of the
create
funniest things I've
becomes
ever seen.
visible.
They go
Even
through
so, there
Outlast
have been
pretending
some
that they're
instances
building
where the puzzle
inspectors
cannot
and
be put
pretend to
together,
write up
and
all the
investigators
fucking
are only
violations
left
they see.
scratching their
It's good
heads.
shit. I wish Rob uploaded more. He's a pretty funny dude. And he doesn't fall for that fucking like social justice shit.
A very curious crime scene that left many questions. The case has remained unsolved.
Thank you
to
for
this
educating
day
him.
and continues to perplex all who
George
read about
Thurgood
its
is great,
gruesome
guys.
nature. On July 21st, 1964, at 4 a.m.,
He wrote a song about
Juan
me.
Valdez, a resident at Patio's
What's that
apartments,
song?
smelled smoke.
Where he sings
the New
about
Orleans police
the day he was
received a
born,
call.
the nurses
there
all
was a
gathered
fire.
round.
Nothing out of the ordinary. When the officers
Bad to the
arrived
bone.
at the scene, they found a fire
That's about me,
burning
guys. I'm
in the
bad
back
to the
of the
fucking
apartment
bone.
building. When inside, they discovered a blazing mattress and promptly dragged it out of the house.
I can't even say that with
However,
a straight
something
face.
else that they found in
Dakota,
the apartment
nigga,
changed
you need
their
a
entire
wrench,
investigation. The body of Dr. Mary
There you go,
Sherman.
Dakota. You got a
the right
wrench.
side of her corpse was burned.
She looks
severely,
like
and
Judy
her scorched
Garland?
lung,
Am I wrong?
liver, and intestines were visible. Moreover, Sherman's right arm and torso were clearly missing. On the walls, floor, and her chest was blood splatter, a sign that she had been stabbed. When her body was examined more closely, they realized that she had been stabbed in the heart, abdomen, and shoulder. These were likely self-defense wounds. There was very little fire damage,
Dakota,
and
you
the
keep
rest
that
of the
wrench
room
safe.
was unharmed.
Some
Oddly
fucking
enough,
jig or
Dr.
some
Sherman's
white
purse,
piece of
prescription
trash, somebody
drugs,
you use that
and
wrench to just
jewelry were left
fucking
completely
bash their
untouched.
fucking head in, dude.
Indeed, officers detected that something was very wrong about this case. The police
that
were soon
wrench with
told
you.
by neighbors
Guys,
that
take
Dr.
those
Sherman's
wrenches with you
vehicle
to other
was
fucking
missing
chat
from its
rooms.
usual
Let 'em
spot
know.
at 3101
Genova
St.
said,
Charles Ave.
"This is your
It was
wrench."
found later that day at 1:08 p.m. at the 2600 block of Chestnut Street, 9 blocks from her apartment. Found on the street near Dr. Sherman's car were an empty Diet Right can, a perfume
Diet
dispenser,
Right?
and a tube of lipstick.
Who the
The
fuck
keys to her
drinks
vehicle
Right
were not
Cola?
discovered until
Genova,
the
check
following
Discord, you
day
got it, Porky.
when a man trimming a hedge
Oh,
found
Porky.
them. Unfortunately, investigators were never able to recover
Hey, that's a nice
any
looking fucking
fingerprints.
gun, man.
It was officially ruled that Dr. Sherman's death was caused by a stab wound to the
Porky,
heart.
I'm gonna give you
During
a
the
bunch of
5-year
shit
investigation, authorities questioned at least
Second of
104
all,
people
you get a
and
flashing
searched
gremlin.
49 locations
Then
in the
you're gonna get a
vicinity.
skull.
Sadly, her case
Then I'm gonna
continues to
give you a
remain
fucking
unsolved
scared woman.
over 50 years later.
Then I'm gonna give you a racist white power symbol. It's a nice looking fucking gun, dude. What
It was
kind
the
of gun
morning
is
of January 15th, 1947.
The fuck you say?
A mother was taking her child for a walk in a Los Angeles neighborhood when suddenly she
I think
came
the most
upon the
surprising thing about that
exceedingly
picture,
mutilated
Porky,
body
is that
of
you
a
have
young woman.
the
At
hand
first,
of a white
the mother
man.
assumed it was a trashed mannequin severed in half, but upon closer inspection, it immediately became clear that the body was, in fact, very
Tom
real.
is getting hostile.
The woman quickly ran to a neighboring house to call
Whoa.
police. When authorities arrived, they
See, I
found
wish
no
we
blood
weren't
the
on
scene,
like
an
YouTube.
indication that the woman
I wish there
had
was
been
a better
killed
place than
somewhere
YouTube. I know
else.
people are going to say,
But
"Oh, you
even
could go
more
here, you go here."
peculiar
No,
was
no,
the
no,
fact
no,
that
no.
the body
I don't
was
mean that. I
drained
just mean
of its blood.
like
The Los Angeles
I
Police
wish you could
Department
show
led
these
the
things
investigation,
because
although the FBI's
there's a better
help
impact
was
in a
requested
crime
when
when
they
you
were
can actually
trying
see
to
them when they're
identify
not
the
censored.
corpse. After the young woman's
You know, we sit here, we make
fingerprints
jokes and
matched
shit like that,
two
but
others
it
in the
actually takes a
FBI's
lot
database,
to fucking like
she was shortly
gut
thereafter
someone
identified
and just fucking
as
like
22-year-old
mutilate
aspiring Hollywood star Elizabeth Short, later dubbed the Black Dahlia by the
So
press.
I was talking about the torso
FBI
killer
aided
earlier.
the LAPD further by
I was talking about the Cleveland. I just paused it for a second. I was talking about the Cleveland torso murder earlier. There is a rumor that the Cleveland torso murderer actually left Cleveland and went up to California or wherever the Black Dahlia is, and the